here on the station that rocks, kgfrocks.com. We'll welcome to the Freaking After Dark show. You didn't get it, did you, Guido? He's shaking his head. I know he didn't. I didn't give you enough warning.
No, you gave me no warning. You said less than a minute.
Less than a minute, we're on. Live from Three Cities, America. We are broadcasting across the country, motherfuckers. We are broadcasting from Buffalo, New York with my friend Guido. Also from Los Angeles, California. That's Knee Scab over there. And then me, I'm in the heart and center of America, St. Louis, Missouri. Welcome to the Freaking After Dark show. And he's crying. He's crying. Wow, 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 wow.
Yeah. Well,
I'm smoking some fine finger-rolled finger hash tonight.
Nice.
And I got some dust from the Grand Wazoo, too.
We don't want to know because we can't share it with you, so fuck off and die.
Hey, no, this is California shit, because you can't get it.
States.
What'd you say, Guido?
It's illegal in many states.
Yeah, it is.
And it's still
not in mine.
So if the feds wanted to come in and arrest you, they still can.
Yeah, it's still
I'll tell you what, though, still, if the cops come in to see my plant, they get all offensive and shit, get all, oh my God, he's got plants. They get scared and shit. He's got plants, man. I better keep my hand on my gun. or you get pulled over and he smells some weed in the car, like it's gonna kill him. Motherfucker, I smell weed. Fucking start to take out a taser and shit. Step out of the car, man, motherfucker.
They can't even do that in New York. If they smell weed in the car, they can't even pull you over, take you out. Not a goddamn thing. Nothing.
No.
Can't check your car.
You got any other drugs in here?
Wife just got home.
Oh, yeah. Yoko Ono is home. Ono is home. Yeah. Well,
but
that's
anyway,
special.
Anyway, them guys, any state I've ever been in, they can roll you for smelling it. So
not here. When they legalized it here, they made it changed all the laws and everything pertaining to it. Yep.
It was unconditional.
I'll be right back, guys. You guys love me, so I'll be back.
Yeah, we do. We love you.
Yeah, we could have I could have fucking I forgot how much it was, like 3 pounds in my house.
Right.
I'm like, that's fucking insanity. 3 pounds. I mean, I don't think I'm able to ever have 3 pounds unless I grow it myself.
Right.
Because I can't afford 3 pounds. Who can afford 3 pounds of marijuana?
And why else would you have it other than to sell it? If you've got 3 pounds in your house, you're selling it because you can't keep all that weed and you can't smoke it all. 3 pounds of weed, you're never going to be able to smoke 3 pounds of weed. There's no fucking way.
Well,
Take it forever. And then by then it's all moldy and nasty, and who would want to?
I would try hard.
Never do your own stash, dude. Never do your own stash.
Yeah.
Hi, Yoko. Hi, Yoko. Yeah. Hi, Yoko.
I was going to ask if she got the Pepsi. But, So anyways, the Buffalo Bills were playing in the rain today. In the rain. Like, not downpour, but constant rain.
Right.
And won 40-0. But here's how it went. Josh Allen's first pass of the game was an interception. And it's like, you were like, oh my God, you got to be fucking kidding me. And then from that moment on, it was an unstoppable force, man.
Well, it was the same way with Mahomes. Mahomes gave up an interception and a touchdown to the Philadelphia Eagles right off the bat. And then after that, all that Philadelphia could do is kick field goals. And then in the second half, the Chiefs got a 10-point lead or a 13-point lead. And then the Philadelphia Eagles got a touchdown and had me a little bit worried. They were within range. But then after that, salsa. Yeah, in New York City. And after that, the Chiefs just tore them up. But still, I can see that next week's game is going to be huge. Guido, we're going to be on the air during next week's game.
No, I know.
That's going to be fucking crazy.
Well, it's going to be crazy because I don't like to witness when my friends cry. And
Oh, you don't want to see me. I'm not
No.
going to cry. I'm not going to cry. We ought to do the play-by-play is what we ought to do.
Here's a fun tidbit. Today at the Bills game, the sound from the stadium went out. The picture was still there, but they couldn't get the audio feed coming through. So Bill Cowher, Phil Simms, Boomer Esiason, and the whole crew there did the play-by-play during the game for about the third quarter. Yeah, and it was funny because that's not their thing. They're not used to calling play-by-plays.
Right.
So they were just more like talking football, like five guys in the room talking football, and it was pretty fun. I enjoyed.
Yeah. Well, they're doing the same thing now with the two brothers on ESPN for Monday Night Football. They have two showings. They have one with the regular announcers, and then they have another game on ESPN2 with who are they? The guys from Peyton Manning and his brother.
Oh, Eli.
Eli and Peyton do their own play-by-play during the show, and it's really cool because you can see them off to the side. They're Skyping. They're Skyping off to the side because one's down in Louisiana and the other one is up in New York. So they're Skyping while they're doing the show together. It's really cool. I watched it last week and they had me glued. They were talking about
they
all
were
kinds
both
of
born.
football.
They were both born in Louisiana.
Yeah.
You know,
their dad is still down there.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would take it. Who's down there, Peyton, or do you not know?
Sean Payton. It's Peyton Manning. It's Peyton.
He's still in Louisiana, right?
He's still in Louisiana.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Well,
so but
the greatest sports announcer in the world ever thus far, John Madden.
He's might be most entertaining, but if I want to go, if I had to say the best, I would have to go for the guy that he's very good with words and he's very intelligent, and that is Al Michaels. Al Michaels knows so much about sports, and the way he talks and the way he pronounces the words is almost perfect. Like he's a broadcaster, not a sports guy that became one. You know.
Well, another one.
Terry Bradshaw. Terry Bradshaw's good too. And,
he's not an announcer though. He's not. He's just on the sidelines. Yeah. We're talking about guys who do the show, the play-by-play.
All right, then.
Go back
like
to that.
Somebody, what was that guy? Harry Carey.
Jack Buck was just fucking phenomenal. Jack Buck.
His son's pretty good too. Joe Buck's pretty good too.
Joe Buck is good. Buck, but he's not his dad. His dad had that voice, man. He had that radio voice, and it was down pat. You knew when somebody hit a home run. It was just like, it's out of here. See you later. Bye. And another
my
good one.
favorite guy is fucking Rick Jenneret from the Buffalo Bills, or Sabres. Our play-by-play announcer. The thing this guy comes up with is so amazing, and the way he talks in hockey, it's like you're an auctioneer almost.
Yeah. And then how about the world most famous is the and it's time for Dodger baseball.
Yeah, Vince Scully.
Vince Scully.
Vince Scully was awesome. Vince Scully was one of the best. Bob Uecker, but he was hammered. Mm-hmm. He was fucking, and Mike Shannon, who just is retiring. This is his last season doing the Cardinals. He's retiring this year, and he by the fifth inning, he's fucking hammered, dude. Right. You can hear him slur his words.
Old baseball announcers are the best. Old baseball announcers, the ones from the heyday. Because just think about it, they didn't go on TV normally. They were just calling the game through the radio, so they could drink, they could smoke, do whatever they wanted to. Those guys, they made you believe you were at the fucking game, Oh yeah. And we don't have that no more. It's not like that.
You used to go to a ball game though. I used to go to the Old Busch Stadium, and I went to RFK Stadium when I was a kid, and I went to Yankee Stadium with my very first baseball game. I went to the Coliseum in Los Angeles. I went to Chavez Ravine there and I went to San Diego Ballpark and saw a game at San Diego Ballpark. But anyway, you used to walk out of the opening and walk into the stadium. You could smell the smoke, the cigarettes, and the fucking the cigars, and you could smell the beer, and you could smell the grass, and it was like, oh my God, where I've died and gone to heaven. You could smoke out there. You could sit out there and smoke. You'd look out in the bullpen. The pitchers are back there going, smoking a cigarette and shit, and and whatever else they were smoking back then. Because I know they were smoking some fucking herbs. They didn't have the piss test back then. They didn't use to piss test their players back then. They do now.
Not in baseball. They did it.
Yeah, no.
Hey, remember when they used to bring the pitcher out, the new relief pitcher in a Corvette or whatever?
Oh, yeah. They used to bring them out in these hot cars, these convertibles, Camaro convertible and shit.
That's how they had a deal with.
Yeah, they had a car dealership locally in town that they did. This week's relief pitcher is brought to you by Cabernet Chevrolet.
They be sitting on the back of a convertible.
They get out of the car.
1967, 1968, new Corvette every year the Dodgers had.
Right.
Those were the days. A brand new red one, and they bring out the new pitchers in that, and that was almost a highlight of the game, when they, brought out the old pitchers in the car. That was awesome. That was a whole lot of fun.
We didn't know until you told us, but
yeah, a whole lot of fun.
And you know what? Speaking of the sports and that, my team won, your team won, but Sweet Cheeks lost.
I've been to Angel Stadium too. That was a fine stadium. But
I've been to Anaheim Stadium. I've been there. I went to Cal Jam 2 there and watched the concert. That was a killer concert there. Yeah, that was good. That was good. That fucking REO Speedwagon and yeah.
What year was that?
That's right down the street from Disneyland. You can see from Disneyland. You can see the Big A.
Yeah, Big A.
Did you know that this year is the 50th anniversary of Disney World?
Yeah. God damn.
50 years.
Yeah. 50 years. And did you know that you remember Tom Petty passed away 4 years ago? It was that long ago that he passed away. Man, time flies. Time flies by. Wow. Whew. I'll tell you what, they had, the dead people, man, when people die, it's like
one guy's time is going by slow. I'll tell you, that guy who killed that Grady girl over there or whatever, he's hiding in Bounty. Dog the Bounty Hunters. Yeah, he's having some law.
They're gonna catch him. Dog the Bounty Hunter's gonna catch his happy ass.
Right. Yeah, but I had a question about that. How about this? Well, take this for instance. I mean, okay, he's wanted for questioning, and but he didn't jump bail, so bounty hunters have no jurisdiction over this guy. Okay, technically, I mean, yeah, he's wanted, but is there a reward for him?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is.
Bounty.
The FBI has got a fucking $20,000 reward for information leading to his arrest.
Oh.
$20,000 reward, and then Dog the Bounty Hunter just added $10,000 to the list, so it's now up to $30,000 for a reward.
Okay, plus, so then he can.
Plus, let's not forget, it's free publicity for him too.
Oh
okay?
Yeah, right.
He catches this guy, he's going to be on every news network in the world. He is going to be everywhere. If he catches this guy, you watch and see. He is going to explode.
He would have paid. Yeah. He would have paid more than $10,000 and more than whatever he's spending to go find this guy in ads or whatever to get his name back out there. So right now, yeah. I mean, if he's doing a good thing, do it good for him. And if he captures this guy, great. But he's not doing it out of the kindness of his heart.
No, this is to bring his name back up to the top where it was. Because
it will be, because like you said, he'll be on every talk show, he'll be on every Jimmy Kimmel, all that shit. And
if he catches him.
If he catches him. Even if he doesn't catch him, Even if he
I
doesn't,
mean,
he'll get on
even
some.
if he doesn't, and he's in cahoots with the cops, maybe they can set it up where he's involved, and then his career will boom after that too.
Yeah.
So
Well, the man's
yeah,
68 years old. He's 68 years old. He's not a spring chicken, He's not a
No,
young
but,
man.
but he doesn't want to be a bounty hunter anymore. He wants to be a celebrity still. So even if he gets his own, like, a host of a show, a host of fucking other bounty hunters or whatever, he could get a show like America's Most Wanted and show clips of other bounty hunters capturing people,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
could be the host. So there's so many opportunities for him to
right.
I mean, it's not just, okay,
Oh,
I'm going to do my bounty hunter thing again.
and forget about it. If he catches this guy, that's a book deal, and you're gonna see his book sales go through the roof when they, people trying to find out how he actually captured this guy.
Right.
I mean, that's a book deal in the making right
And
there. A
he's going to
movie,
get
even a
movie
movie.
rights.
Yeah.
Right.
He'll get movie rights. He'll be rich beyond his wildest fucking dreams. He will be fucking just.
And like I said, if he is
He'll
doing
be
it,
fingering the fucking dollar bill.
and if he is doing it for just a hell of it because he's a nice guy, well then God bless him and good for him. But I have to think there's another angle. I mean,
Sure.
we all have another angle. We don't.
But that's
Nobody,
okay. Hey,
yeah.
if he gets rich from it and
Right.
he catches the guy, you know what? More power to him, man. He was good. He said he's good.
Absolutely.
Well, now
He
we
is.
know he's fucking good, dude. This dude fucking found a needle in a fucking haystack with this guy. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
with the right equipment.
Well, the quicker the better, because it will look
Yeah.
better if he gets him quicker than later.
Yeah,
like,
but see, a bounty hunter has different rights than a police officer. So like a police
Right.
officer needs a warrant and needs this. A bounty hunter doesn't need that. He's
right.
a citizen, and so he has the potential to catch him quicker because he has less restrictions.
Right.
And which makes it tough on the cops. That's gotta suck. Like,
there was
bounty
just a
hunter-
press release. Yeah, there was just a press release that up in the Appalachians, where they say this guy is the Appalachian Trail, that
Right.
the local government is telling Dog to stay out and leave it up to the authorities to find him. Now
Yeah,
damn
because
well Dog's gonna say fuck you.
they can't tell him.
He's got a
Well,
whole team. He's got like 20 guys working with him, man. He's got a whole team.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's nothing they can't stop. You can't stop me from going to look for my kid or my friend or my wife. You can't stop me. If I want to go look for the dude that killed my loved one, or if killed my friend's loved one, well, how are you going to stop me? I'm not breaking no fucking law.
Right, true.
I can see him at the White House if he does it. He'll go to the White House when Trump gets elected again.
Yeah, he ain't going to go there with Biden. He'll fucking.
If there wasn't a bounty on his head, then he'd have no jurisdiction whatsoever to go get the guy. It'd be kidnapping.
No. Right, he wouldn't have jurisdiction. But what I'm saying is as a citizen, he has every right to go look for this guy. It's just the fact about detaining the guy is a different story.
To take him, it's a different story.
But
that's what I'm saying. That's what I was telling you, Free Ride, that if the cops get him, he'll be involved. See, and that'll boost his career.
Correct.
Just
especially if he's looking in the same place where they actually find him.
Right.
So if he's hot on the trail and he said, "I almost got him."
He said the other night that they don't work together.
No.
Him and the cops work separately. They don't know what he's thinking, and he don't know what they're thinking, and they don't share anything.
It's like
how much set up though?
Huh?
What
just that set up to be, like I'm saying, he is a fucking celebrity, and he is a bounty hunter, but how much of this is just set up? And
well, that could be too. But poor guy, he's gonna suffer.
My thinking is this guy Dog's gonna find him. I got a sneaky hunch Dog is gonna find him. And when he does, he's going to talk to him and say, "Man, why'd you kill that girl?" And he's going to get it all on video. He goes, "Did you kill her?" And he's going to ask her these questions. "Look, you're wanted. We're going to take you in. We're going to hold you, and then we're going to take you down there. You are under citizen's arrest. You don't have to say anything to us or nothing like that. He said, we're going to take you down there. But if you got anything on you, you better get rid of it now before we lock you up. But we're going to take you in. We're going to take you in.
Yeah,
You know.
he could do that. And I forgot about it. There is a citizen's arrest thing. You know,
Wait a minute. I didn't look that up, and we need a fact checker on that. But however, I've heard of the citizen's arrest crap, and I just don't I don't believe that that's well, you know, I guess you could make a citizen's arrest on an airplane if the guy's out of control and he's got a gun and you jump on his ass.
If it's a known fugitive, I mean,
is that a citizen's arrest, or is that just a detainment till the police can get there?
No. He will go in. What he'll do, he's got a warrant in his hand. It's public knowledge. The warrant is public knowledge. He's got a copy of the warrant in his hand when he fucking apprehends the guy. Then they fucking cuff him. They put him in the car, and they sit with him, and then they drive to where the local police station is. And then they take him in, and they press the button on the outside, say, I've got a fugitive for you. And then they take him inside, and then the police, right then and there, make the arrest. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
All that. But what I'm saying is, if the guy comes in your house and he's robbing your house, okay, you can't make a citizen's arrest on the guy.
The fuck you can't.
Well, you can.
The fuck you can. You can shoot that motherfucker, and that's what he's going to get if he gets into my house.
Well, not even if you shoot him. What if I get him down to the ground, and then I'm fucking a security guard or something? I'm a fucking perv. I got handcuffs. If I handcuff that bitch, I could take him right to the fucking police station. You know, it's not good to do that because you want to detain him and get them to come to your house and see that he's on the scene.
Make the arrest.
Right. So it's better if it's a known fugitive, because then they want him anyways. You know, if you just take a guy that robbed in your house, there's no proof that this guy broke into your house.
If you get lucky, this guy is out on bond and he skipped bond. And if you capture him in your house and cuff him and call the cops, you're going to get that reward.
So that citizen's arrest is real technical. I mean, you can't, you know, you can't just make up something and say, this guy did this to me and I'm arresting him and shit like that. That's like, it's a real tricky fine line thing.
Because you could ruin your case if you're arresting somebody that fucked up against you, because now there's no proof. You took it away from the scene or whatever. But if right now that laundry dude or whatever his name is comes to my town and I capture him, I could take him to prison or take him to the local police.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I was in the freezer and I'm moving boxes around.
It's everyday trouble.
I know.
Tell him, Yoko. Tell him he's a pussy. Tell him he's a pussy. Big sissy.
No working only home. Not the trouble. What happened? Alcohol.
Yeah. I love it. Oh, folks, wait till you see that on video. That's awesome. Wait, Yoko.
She wasn't wearing a bra either.
What happened was I was putting popsicles in the fucking freezer and it's so full that I reached my hand in there and I cut the back of my hand. See?
Oh.
And it's like, I didn't even feel that, you know, that's how weak that skin is anymore. But
I know, mine's the same way. Mine is, as you get older, your skin gets thinner, that's for sure. It doesn't take much to make you bleed. But only women bleed. So you must
hit him in the head with the freezer door.
Only women bleed. Who did that song? Neeskab?
Alice.
Oh, come on, man. You spoiled. I was asking Neeskab.
Who is it?
Only women bleed.
Bruce Springsteen?
No.
That shows how much he pays attention.
I know. Only women bleed. Only women bleed. Right?
Yeah, I thought it was Bruce Springsteen.
No, it's Alice Cooper. It's
a
great song. One of the greatest classics ever. It's a great song.
I think I can come up with a song. This one's for Guido. 96 Tears.
Question mark and the Mysterians.
Yeah, he's good, dude. You can't deny that. The Mysterians.
On,
Okay, I got one for you.
Cameo Parkway Records. Go ahead.
I got one for you. I'd really love to see you tonight.
I don't know about moving. I don't want to change your life. It's England Dan and John Ford Coley.
Yeah, fucking right on. We can't fool him, man. We can't fool him.
I got one more.
All right.
Oh shit. Oh yeah. I'm all right.
Oh, the one from Caddyshack by oh, fucking beard. I know who. Kenny Loggins.
Kenny Loggins.
Yeah.
Kenny Loggins. That's correct, sir. I knew that one right off the bat. I'm all right. Nobody worry about me.
Can you explain to me, music expert guy, kind of guy, music experts you guys are? Listen, explain to me, what is this Purple Rain they talk about? I've never seen that before, and it's in 2 songs. What is Purple Rain? I never seen it.
Purple Rain is when your life is in a stormy weather scenario,
it's worse than Blue.
It's worse than Blue because it's like, good God, man. If you listen to the original song Purple Rain, it's about his mother and his father, and he's pissed.
Upbringing and his,
the way he was brought up and shit, and oh yeah, he didn't like his dad at all.
That's where the expression came from of Purple Rain, huh?
Purple Rain.
Well, it's a dual thing. He loved his father. He thought his father was the greatest man in the world. His father was one of the greatest musicians he ever laid his eyes upon. But at the same time, he hated him too, because he was an asshole to him. So it was like that double-edged sword where he wanted to be like his dad and idolized his dad and had him up here, but then he had him down here because he was an asshole at the same time.
Well, he was also abusive to his mom.
Very abusive. And to him too.
And to him too. And why you got to do this shit, man? Why you got to be that way? You're one of the greatest things in my life, and I respect you, and you destroy it with that. But he was, he didn't like his dad at all.
You know what the greatest thing about Prince is when he shopped his demo around, there was about, I don't know, 4 or 5 record companies that were really interested in him. And he said, I will take the one that will allow me to have total control over my music. And he was 19 years old.
Right.
Warner Brothers said, deal. And every album he did, he wrote, played on almost all the instruments, and produced it.
He was a genius. He was a musical genius. If you really, I don't know, folks don't like him. Maybe it's because he's black. Maybe it's not. If you get the opportunity out there, folks, go to YouTube and look up this man at the Super Bowl playing Purple Rain, and it is pouring down rain while he's doing it, and he's soaking in high heels, and he's soaking fucking wet, and it is one of the greatest halftime shows ever. I mean, ever.
You know what? Listen, this is so ironic. My favorite artist, no doubt of all time, besides Elvis, Prince. My daughter happened to be born during that halftime show, and I missed the whole fucking thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so fucking awesome, man.
I saw it later on. I saw it on YouTube, but it just made her birth even more special because she was born during the moments of my favorite artist playing his best show ever. It was kind of
ever. I mean, it went down. It goes down. It's in the top 5. It's in the top 5 Super Bowl halftime shows. Michael Jackson was pretty good in the halftime show because you could really tell he was singing and he was getting out of breath and shit. And you could really tell he was working his ass off.
That was during the Bills Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, the Rolling Stones did a great job for the Super Bowl.
I think Janet Jackson did a fine job.
Well, Mick Jagger forgot a lot of the lines.
No, I mean, I said Janet Jackson did great, man.
Oh, Janet Jackson was awesome.
You saw her titty? She went like this?
That what
Yeah.
you saw?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
they
was it was a
She had a
split second. It
she
was
had
a
a
split
bracelet
second.
over it or something, like
Yeah.
a bracelet.
a ring.
Huh?
Like,
Okay,
like-
so now that we're on halftime shows, this year, who's that? Dr. Dre. And okay, out of the three of us, who's going to actually watch the Super Bowl halftime show?
well, see,
It
okay,
just
this
keeps
is where
getting worse and worse.
this is where the three of us are different on the musical spectrums, because I grew up during the hip hop explosion, and to me, Dr. Dre is awesome, and I like Dr. Dre. I probably will watch it, but I don't like the newer bands. I'd rather see the older bands like that. I mean, let's face it, Dr. Dre came out in 1987. He's not a new artist.
Well, let's see. What's his name is also going to be there too. What's her name? Martha Stewart's boyfriend.
Oh, Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg's going to be there.
That's awesome. See, that's awesome. Now, to me, that's if you're going to do something, let's do something different. Because let's face it, it's been rock oriented forever. Just change it up
And
a
it's
little.
going to be right here, so they're going to be allowed to smoke weed. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against that. I would be more against like somebody coming in newer doing it, like, because it sucks, most of the new music. But
okay, so here's the guest list for Super Bowl Sunday 2022.
Oh.
Let's see. It's going to be Rock Nation, and it's going to have in it Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, and Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
And I tell you what, because Eminem's going to be there, I'm going to watch it.
Well, not listen. The three of those guys, Eminem, Dr. Dre, and Snoop Dogg, combined record sales is probably almost 1 billion records. I mean, they've sold. That's a little off, not a billion, but they've sold so much money. Dr. Dre is the first rap billionaire. He's a billionaire.
Yeah, he's a billionaire. He is a billionaire.
And he came.
No
But I never heard his music. I've never heard it.
You've never heard of NWA?
Do yourself a favor.
No,
do yourself a favor. Go on YouTube and put in Dr. Dre. It's spelled D-R-E, Dr. Dre. Put that into YouTube and listen to some of his stuff.
Yeah,
because he's talking about stuff that you went through. He's talking about the fucking guy on the street getting fucked by the government.
He's from Compton, California.
He's from Compton. He's from your neighborhood, dude. He's from our neighborhood. Remember, we used to live in Southgate, right there by Compton. We were close to Compton.
And he's probably he was born in the 60s, so he's probably mid 50s. So he probably went through some of the stuff you did later, at a later date, but because California's been California for a long time, so it hasn't changed.
There'll be a lot of pot in the air. There'll be a lot of pot in the air.
This is funny though. When those bands came out, like in the early 90s, like early 93, when I was in the Army, I remember Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre being huge, and everybody, the media and everybody saying, oh my God, this is horrible for our kids, FBI's watch list and all that. And now they're playing at the wholesome Super Bowl halftime show. Right. So it goes to show you how a musician like Elvis was in his early years, an enemy of the people, to becoming one of the most beloved people there ever was.
Right.
Moms in the 50s thought Elvis was the Antichrist,
And they thought the same thing of John Lennon.
Sure. Well, John Lennon kind of did that to himself by saying he was bigger than the God.
Yeah, well, he's more popular than God.
Or more popular than God, right? But he was not wrong.
Or Jesus, he said. He didn't say God.
Right. Yeah, Jesus. But you know what? Right now, John Lennon is more popular than Jesus.
But I think it was taken out of context. I think it was. Yeah, he didn't really mean that. That he was better or anything in that.
No.
No. He said he's like that. Just like as popular.
Just trying to portray how popular he was, how popular they were.
Right.
Like he can't grasp and explain to you how popular they are without comparing it to something of that magnitude.
Magnitude, yes, exactly.
And it made him more popular though.
Yeah.
because more people bought their records to check them out now. And what the hell is going on?
Arm is going to get you.
Yeah.
Knock you off your feet.
Well, like a lot of songs are, satanistic, whatever, in the song, but in the meaning, it's really not. Like if you listen to the Rolling Stones, "Sympathy for the Devil," it's not giving sympathy for the devil, and it's not promoting the devil. It's like,
Right.
actually, to me, that's one of the greatest ever. I never. That's on my top 10 list of songs that I can only take with me to deserted island. That would be one of them. "Sympathy for the Devil." I never get, or "Sympathy for the Devil." I never get tired of it. I never do, because I listen to it differently all the time. And the one time I listen to it, hear the music, but then the next time I listen to the message, and then the third time I might listen to the whole thing together. It's great.
Right.
Well,
You gotta
you can get scared with Alice Cooper doing monster beat, the monster or something in the bedroom, or whatever that song was he did.
Yeah. I can't remember the name of it, but I know what you're talking about. But you see with Black Sabbath lyrics, Black Sabbath, the funny thing about Black Sabbath is they weren't Satanists. They were in the recording studio. They were the Something Earth blues band, and they went and watched a horror movie and came out and said, "Wouldn't that be great to make an album, a horror movie music album?" And they did. And now all of a sudden, they're devil worshippers and all this, but they to create a scary movie on record.
Yeah,
and
that's all.
they really did. And
they pulled it
got
off.
a lot of, but
and that's what Alice Cooper did too. And he did Alice Cooper Killer, the album. God damn, that was the greatest album. One of the greatest albums ever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Desperado on that song is, that song is deep on so many levels. And when you realize that Alice Cooper wrote that song to give to Jim Morrison, he wanted that song. He wrote that song for Jim Morrison, but then Jim died. So they did it. I can imagine only imagine Jim Morrison doing it. That's a creepy, haunting song. It really is.
Yeah, it really is. Desperado is terrible.
Yeah.
Terribly, and so is the Ballad of White. Well, Dead Babies was on Dead Babies, and then you had oh gosh,
Dead Babies was on Killer.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, maybe it was. Yeah, Dead Baby, and then the Ballad of Dwight Fry.
Yep,
was on there as well.
Yeah, and Halo of Flies.
Halo of Flies. Yeah, that was good too. I went to see Cooper when he did the Killer album in '74.
At home. So did I. And it was, what a fucking album.
I couldn't go to that show because I had a health concern that year.
You had a health concern?
You always got a problem.
I was being born.
You was being born 1974.
Yeah.
1974. We were at the concert while he was being born. You believe that shit? Yeah. That's trippy, man. Now that's a fucking trip.
I don't know if I've said this before, and I was consummated after Led Zeppelin's "House is the Holy" concert here at the Sabres.
His dad was a rock and roll DJ back in the day, so he knows.
And it's funny because back then my dad was 22 and my mom was like 16, and they got married. And today my dad would have been in jail.
Yeah, today he would have gone to jail for that. Yeah, back then you could get married,
Right.
Did they get married in New York, or did they go to Pennsylvania to get married?
New York. All my grandparents just had to sign a paper. That's all.
Yeah.
And they freely did. That was their last kid of 9 or whatever. So get out.
Oh Lord. Yeah. Yeah.
But she was going to do what she wanted to do anyway. So I think my grandparents just said, okay, she had a baby coming. They didn't want to raise it,
So picture this, man. Alice Cooper is sitting in center stage with his legs crossed, and he's in a fucking straitjacket. And they start doing Ballad of Dwight Fry. And by the end of that song, he breaks free. and he opens up like this, and he gets out of the straitjacket, and he's singing "Save My Life," you know, and he comes around, and this guy, I went by a man who's standing there choking. I'm glad it wasn't me.
He
That
did the
kind of
whole
shit.
act. He did the whole fucking
Oh, it
act,
was
man.
fucking terrible.
And
Terrible.
that's back when he drank, and he admitted to this, that during a show or before a show, he drank a case of beer, case of beer before the show, and then drank, I forgot what spirit, like whiskey or whatever, during the show. And then drank another probably case after the show. And the guy was skinny as fuck. And he was a horrible alcoholic that really needed to check into a hospital when he did.
Yeah.
And that's where that album From the Inside came from. That's when he checked into rehab, you know, where the big song that was on there is I Never Cry. You'll Never See Me Cry or whatever. Was it? I'll Never Cry. Yeah, yeah. And that was him with Bernie Taupin wrote some of those lyrics for that album. Elton John's collaborator. So during that late 70s, Cooper went different. Remember, he did that one song, You and Me, ain't no movie star. You know, it was like a really like, what the fuck, like a crooning song. You know, he tried to, like, I don't know what he tried to do, but those late years of the 70s, he really changed a lot, where he almost lost his whole popularity. And if it wasn't for him getting sober in the 80s and coming back strong, he would have been just disappeared, I think. You know,
I think he'd have fell off the radar for sure if he didn't come back and go to work.
Well, because his
work right away.
Yeah, his alcoholism was ruining. His music was starting to suck really bad. Where in the early 80s, it was horrible. It was horrible.
Same thing happened to Stephen Stills. Stephen Stills said after he got out of rehab and got clean, he said, fuck it. And he walked away for a long time. Right. He didn't do any music until later on. Once he walked away.
It was kind of easy for those bands to take off too in the 80s, because the music just sucked back then, and it just should have anybody could have changed the style right at that point, because they were the worst years.
Let me tell you something. Say that. But listen, those bands from the 60s, the Grateful Dead, Touch of Grey, their only top 10 hit. The fucking Jefferson Starship or whatever, We Built This City, #1. Those 60s bands did so much better in the 80s.
Right.
They were making where they couldn't do it in the 60s, those rock bands. In the 80s, they were getting the chart hits. Eric Clapton didn't have any chart hits in the 60s. In the fucking 80s, Eric Clapton was on the charts all the time. Right. You know, minus the Beatles and the Stones, a lot of them bands didn't get on the charts.
Right.
High numbers. The Grateful Dead never made a top 20 hit until they did Touch of Grey in 1985. You know, and why? Because I think you're right in some aspects. The music was different in the 80s. I'm not going to go on the same thing and say it sucked. I won't say it, but it did change tremendously.
It did change tremendously, and it was scaring me. I'm going, wait a minute, is this what we're going to put up with for the rest of my life?
Now listen, in 1989, it was released July 25th, 1989, the album Trash by Alice Cooper. It went platinum.
Right.
In Australia. It went gold in Europe, and in Canada it went platinum.
Like double hit.
BVMI was a hit. It was he got to number 20. He got to number 20.
Which was a big feat in the 80s for an old heavy metal guy.
20. Yeah. Fred, other than
But
that,
now click on the song Poison. That song was a big hit.
Right. Poison was huge. Let's see. See if I can find it.
That song reestablished Alice Cooper. People didn't even know who Alice Cooper was anymore at that point. Only his old fans really knew who he was. The young crowd of the 80s really was out of touch with Alice Cooper. But when Poison came out, it introduced him to a big audience that he never had before. A new audience. I shouldn't say a big audience, because he was huge. But it introduced him to a whole new audience. And
he's got a shitload of albums, man.
Poison was pretty good. You know.
Oh, I know. Yeah, It was great. I've always loved Alice Cooper because, like you said, my dad was a rock DJ, and we always had rock albums in our house. Okay, so it didn't matter who it was, we had it. So I never went to the record store to buy records. I just went to my dad's record room, and I would go through it, look at the cover, and say, "Oh, this looks pretty fucking cool," and listen to it, and then like, "Oh, I really like this," and then they go pick out every other thing by that band.
Poison
came
out.
Yeah,
Poison came out in 1989, along with House of Fire.
Right.
Yeah, and it made it to number. Let's see, Poison. It made it to where the hell is it? Number 7 on the chart.
Right now, number 7 for a old dried up rock star from 15 years ago,
or more.
Number 7, right, is a phenomenal feat in the 80s. It's phenomenal.
It still is, yeah, absolutely.
Look at bands like Aerosmith too. Aerosmith was huge in the 70s, but by the early 80s, their alcoholism and their drug abuse ruined the band. So they were
because I saw Alice Cooper in like 73 at a roller rink.
Right, and he was stoned out of his mind, probably.
Oh yeah, he was tore up.
Yeah,
he was tore up. 1972, he did Schools Out.
Right.
I was listening. He did a big array of songs when I saw him. His show was almost 2 hours long.
My favorite.
It could have been 70 when I seen him.
My favorite song by him is on that album, Looney Tune.
70 was the Killer albums. 1970.
Yeah, it was like 70, 71. It was the end of 70, I think, beginning of 71. It came. Yeah.
Love It to Death was 71, and then he released Killer the same year.
Yeah, they were both
71.
Yeah, because it was the other way around, that it was closer to 72 Killers was released. That's what it was.
Yeah,
but it was like December of 71 or something like that.
I seen him right then. I seen him at a roller rink in Alexandria, Virginia. Good show.
Well,
that was the Killer. He hung himself. He got on the gallows, and then they had the guillotine too, and they did the guillotine and
did the string jacket. They did it, and then the spider comes down.
They didn't do the straight.
Maybe. Yeah, he was trapped and tied to the spider web.
I saw.
And he had babies crying and dead babies and cradles.
He had blood all over him in a white jacket, and he had these fucking dolls that were all cut up into pieces and shit. Yeah, he was pretty fucked up.
The last time I saw him, he was on a double bill. He was the headliner, but the other headliner before him was Marilyn Manson. And their music kind of fits together. It does. Now Alice Cooper's on a tour right now, on a double headliner tour, and the other headliner on the tour is Ace Frehley.
I seen Alice Cooper only a few years ago, and in Shumash Casino.
Yeah.
Me and my son John. John said it was the best concert he ever went to.
Yeah.
Well, did he have the girl guitar player then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you drop acid at an Alice Cooper concert back in the day.
He was real huge Frankenstein.
Yeah.
This one. He was
my Frankenstein.
He was
my
like
Frankenstein. We're not worthy.
Yeah.
What movie
that
did
was also a great push for Cooper right there. Was getting that little spot in Wayne's World really helped him out a lot, right. And a lot of let's face it, in like maybe because of the, like you said, the music wasn't as good in the 80s. Right. A lot of the older bands did come back. Even Meatloaf in the early 90s went from being huge in the late 70s to nobody even knew who the fuck he was anymore.
Yeah. Who's that?
Have a big, huge comeback with I Would Do Anything for Love.
But I won't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
And Bad Out of Hell. Bad Out of Hell 1 was the best one. They had Bad Out of Hell
2. And that was the one with the with that one hit on it. And 2 was the one who exploded on Disease, made him platinum. That's for sure. I think another
was great. He was in that movie Rocky Horror.
Here's a band. Here's a band that go ahead.
The Broadway production of Rocky Horror.
He was on the motorcycle. He was the guy on the motorcycle.
Eddie.
He was Eddie. Yeah. He was Eddie. Yeah.
Good
I
song.
they used to do
Great
these
song.
marathons. They used to do these marathons. You could go watch it, and all the people would dress up. And then when it start raining, people would put that fucking newspaper over their heads and shit.
Good
And it was
show.
pretty
Good
comical. I
show.
used to sit in the back just to laugh at people that were doing it because I was
They
dropping
still
it
do that. They
orange
still do that
sunshine or
here.
something. Yeah,
Halloween.
yeah.
Halloween, they show that? I know they do every year. I just didn't know what holiday.
Yeah.
I think, Halloween. Yes.
Yeah. Let's see. House. What was the name of that movie?
It'll
The
probably be
House.
on Netflix this year. Watch and see.
What the hell is the name of that movie? It's a musical with the big fucking man-eating fucking plant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
Adrian or whatever her name was. Rocky, not the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Now that's in my mind. Yeah, what the hell? Steve Martin's
That
in
was
it.
Rick Moranis. Rick
Yeah.
Moranis.
Yeah, it was.
Moranis.
What the fuck was it? The House of Plants or something?
Little Shop of Horror.
A
Little
Shop
Shop
of
of Horrors.
That was it. Hey, we got an answer. Way to go. Yeah. Little Shop
Yeah.
of Horrors.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, Sweet
We're
Cheeks,
just
it
stoners.
was Rick Moranis and that, but there's actually one from the 50s too that was original. And I don't know if that one was a musical or not, but it was more like a I don't remember, but there was an older version of it too. But I used to love, speaking of, we're on the thing of musicals now, and Alice Cooper, the School's Out album had that whole section of like West Side Story, remember? The Jets.
Yeah.
That's where I pulled that record out of my dad's collection and I listened to that. And then I was told by my dad it was from like a thing from West Side Story. So then I went and rented that and watched that movie to see why Alice Cooper put that in his movie. So listening to music too was also a history lesson for me because I gained access to other things by hearing it in a song, and
Right.
you don't get that in new music now. There's no history.
No, they don't tell stories like that anymore. They don't do the whole album like a play.
And here's another band until they started dying off. That never wanted to die in the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, and even into the early 2000s was Yes. They never died. They never died. They always reinvented themselves, man.
See,
it was like, what the fuck? When are they going to just break up?
I was never a Yes fan per se. Like I never bought one of their albums, but there were single tracks of theirs that I fucking really love. Like certain songs that I really think are great. But then there's other songs where like, all right, come on, end it. Damn it. What the hell?
Yeah, they were another band that never figured out how to end a song.
Right,
like Grand Funk Railroad. They never figured out how to end a fucking song.
And the worst of all, which is one of my favorite bands, is the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, they did the same thing.
A 2-minute song became a 27-minute song.
Well, they did Sugar Magnolia live, and it was regularly on the album. It was like 8 minutes long. Well, they took that and turned it into a 30-minute song when they were doing a live show. But their shows would be, Guido, their shows would be for 3 hours, 3.5, 4 fucking hours long, man. And they would people be out there tripping on acid and shit, man. Fuck me.
I've been to 7 of them.
Yeah. Grateful Dead was cool. Grateful Dead were cool. I mean, they, and I know you weren't a big fan of Yes, but if you'd ever gone to a concert and dropped acid and gone to a Yes show back in the 70s,
right?
I saw them live with a band called Hawkwind, who are fucking just, oh my God. Back then they were real trippy. It was all about space.
Lemmy was in that band.
Yeah, Lemmy was in that band. He sure was. And we went to see them back in the 70s with Yes. And to be honest with you, I thought that they kind of blew Yes off the stage. But Yes, you can't be because they're telling a story. It's like watching a fucking movie unfold.
You know what I like about Yes? The one thing I like about Yes is Anderson's voice.
Yeah, John Anderson's voice. Yeah, there's nothing like his voice.
I even like John Anderson's solo song, Vangelis, I think, or
Vangelis, him and Vangelis.
Yeah. And I don't like his music necessarily, but I just like the sound of his voice. Okay, so I think that's why there's certain Yes songs that I really like. I mean, I really love them.
Heart
and
of Sunrise, and You and I.
Yep.
You got
what's the one? The one.
Long Distance Run Around.
I
That's a great
think
song.
Moody Blues was a little bit better at telling stories on their albums.
They were.
than
They
Yes.
were. They were another storytelling that you can't get anymore.
Well, I
Yeah.
think the best storytelling one from all those types of progressive bands was ELP.
Yeah, Emerson, Lake, and Palmer did the same. They did the same
Lucky
thing.
Man, those songs. Now, see,
Just three guys in that band.
Yeah, I dug progressive music, but not
The
like
Eagles invented it with Desperado album.
Well, they got
Yeah.
that. To be honest,
They started it. Oh, the
Well,
Beatles started.
The Beatles
it,
started the storytellers. I mean, they were
Yeah,
basically telling their albums were all about Magical Mystery Tour.
Yeah.
You know, they were all about the story. But
Well,
here we
yeah,
go
well,
back
listen,
again to the
listen.
Beatles.
You want to go back in time and
Hard
listen. If
Day's
you want to talk
Night.
about
Hell, all of them
storytelling,
were.
it goes on farther back than that. Hank Williams was a storyteller.
Yeah.
You know, Bob
Glenn
Dylan.
Campbell.
Bob
Glenn
Dylan
Campbell
was a storyteller.
Bob Dylan was a storyteller.
Yeah.
Well, it goes
Both-
back even further.
Yeah.
I mean, his albums rang true. Simon and Garfunkel told a story, always told a story in their songs.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the whole album making a chain play. You know, like a part.
You're talking about like a concept album or something. You know,
Yeah,
like,
concept. Well, that was Jethro Tull. That was
or
Yes.
the Who.
Emerson, Lake and Palmer, the Who.
Yeah.
They all had concept albums.
Tommy, but who started it? You know.
Well,
actually,
I don't know if anybody I can say who per se started it, because people
you could say Elvis, but you could, you know, he had some storytelling songs, you know.
But to me, a storytelling, it tells you something that you never knew before. Like here's a good
Frank
story.
Sinatra even.
Sure. Here's my definition of a storytelling song. The Edmund Fitzgerald. No, not just. Well, damn it! Listen now. The record of Edmund Fitzgerald is a storytelling song. He can't shut up. He can't.
Go for it, Bill. Go for it. You got the stage, brother.
When you talk about a storyteller, you talk about a song like "The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald." I'm trying to get it all in before he opens his mouth. It tells the story, and then you go and look up what happened. Let me go find out what happened. So then you go look up "The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald," and you learn something. That's what I'm talking about, storytelling.
Gordon Lightfoot.
The
Wreck of Edmund Fitzgerald. Oh yeah, they had storyteller. Jim Croce was another one. He was another storyteller.
When I was a kid, I thought his name was Jim Croce.
Jim Croce.
But it wasn't the whole album.
Here's a trivia question. How did Jim Croce die?
In a plane crash.
He died in a plane crash. Yes, he was on his way to do a benefit concert.
Yeah.
And his plane crashed.
He said, "Operator," and then the call hung up.
Yeah. How far will this one engine get us? All the way to the crash site.
Because Jim Croce was one of those people, and I love Jim Croce because he had a way with words. And the words told a story. They weren't just words, because a lot of songs now, if you listen to the Red Hot Chili Peppers, which is one of my favorite bands ever, their words make no fucking sense. It's just like Dr. Seuss rhyming. But somebody like Jim Croce, you know, like I Got a Name.
Yeah.
It's like it makes you think about things. You know, it makes you think about things because it's written well. And if it's written well and the words have meaning, the song will always be around. Oh,
that's what my show is every Sunday morning. I try to do that every Sunday morning. Tell a story.
The guy who did You Gotta Know When to Hold 'Em. You gotta know when to hold 'em. You know, that's folk songs. Those are all kind of folk songy things.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a rock opera. I'm talking just albums that were like rock operas. The
Pink
whole fucking
Floyd.
album.
Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon was a rock opera.
Great.
Well, you want to know where it started from? I couldn't tell you, because you know, you want to say Sgt. Pepper.
They're ballads. You know, ballads.
As you're saying the first, I bet you're going to say the first concept album was Sgt. Pepper's.
Oh, Sgt. Pepper's, huh? No, I don't. You know, No, I'd say Hard Day's Night.
No,
I
because
see.
I think the first concept album, well, one of the first. I'm not gonna say the first concept was the Beach Boys, and they did,
Pet Sounds.
Pet Sounds. If you listen
Yeah,
to Pet Sounds, man, you will trip because if you
Pet
listen
Sounds.
closely
Yeah,
to
Pet
what
Sounds.
he's
Well,
saying, he's in
Yeah,
so much fucking distress. He's in so
Alice
much trouble.
Cooper. Alice Cooper did it. Meatloaf, his albums, his Bad Out of Hells, those were like concepts of,
yeah, they were
Jethro Tull,
concepts of
Aqualung.
sort,
you
but
know,
the whole is if you want a true concept album, then you got to look at the Who's Tommy as being the first one
sure.
because every single song has to do with that concept. There's nothing that doesn't belong there.
Belong there.
Okay,
Right.
there's
Well,
nothing that don't belong.
Desperado, the Eagles was before that then.
No, it wasn't. No,
No, no. Let's
Desperado.
find out. Let's
The
fact
Eagles
check.
weren't even a band when that album came out. The
All right.
not even a
What
band.
album again?
Tommy was 1969. Tommy was 1969, and Desperado was 71 or 72.
Tommy. Oh, no.
Yeah, yeah,
Tommy.
yeah. Tommy was first. And then the
No,
Who's Next was 70. Tommy was first before Desperado. I guarantee it. I'll bet you $1,000 right now.
so those were getting pretty close to the concept albums that started it, huh?
Desperado was recorded in studios in London, England, and released in 1973.
Oh, 73. I was a year off. Okay. And
1973.
what
Yes.
about Tommy? That was 69, I believe.
Tommy.
Damn, we need a producer.
We do, man. Really bad. I've been wanting one. Nobody wants to jump in, man.
It'd be fun.
They could
Uh,
even come on the show.
It came out in 1970. It was recorded in 1969.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that
And
was its first true concept album, I think.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tommy,
And,
we can call it that.
yeah.
And then
1970. Although Sergeant Pepper's was a great concept album as well.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
what was the concept though?
concept was getting on the bus and taking a magical mystery tour. If you saw the
Okay, that
movie,
right,
I mean,
but the fucking Tommy was all about the pinball dude. Every song was about him.
it was about that one guy. Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's all to me a concept album is the whole thing like Dark
Well,
Side of the Moon.
was Yellow Submarine? Was that? I mean, not no. I mean, Yellow Brick Road. Wasn't that a concept?
I guess
sorta?
you call that a loose concept album,
Yeah.
meaning that it was they all are connected in a way, but not completely connected. If you look at different concept albums like Tommy, that's all the same thing. It's all connected. It's all everything you could write a movie about. Yeah, they did.
Close to the edge. Close to the edge. From Yes was a good concept album because it was all about this fictitious land. It was all about this place where you could go and go to the heart of the sunrise, and you could go here and check this out. Did you know that the song what was it, Roundabout? You know what that's all about?
No.
They used to live in this house out in England, and out in front of the house was a roundabout where the cars would go back, and it was a roundabout. It was a four-way intersection that had a roundabout in it, and that's what the song was about. I'll be the roundabout. I'll be there in a few minutes, man. Yeah, it was pretty cool, man. I was listening to that. John Anderson was talking about that.
Well, you know what? That's the thing is people with a song, you're sitting in like George Harrison wrote "Here Comes the Sun" while he was fucking on drugs with Eric Clapton, and the morning was coming up, and he just wrote a little ditty. "Here comes the sun." All of a sudden, he wrote a song.
Yeah.
So and then other people take that as any way they want it, like, oh, roundabout is something about this or that or blah blah blah. So when basically he was just looking at the fucking street in front of his house, there was no idea behind it, but. We put the
idea into the music. It's like when you're tripping on acid and sitting in a dark room with a black light on, and all the things are living and breathing in your room, and you're listening to this music from a band called Yes, or ELP, or Black Sabbath, or Pink Floyd. Our imaginations run away with the music.
Abbey Road. the side 2 of Abbey Road was a good story too. That was
so was Dark Side of the
concept.
Moon a concept album
Yeah.
about what's his name who left the band?
Alice Cooper Killer. Was
I think Dark Side of the Moon is a very great concept album on mental deterioration and mental issues, where Pink Floyd was like ahead of their time with that, knowing that the future was going to be a lot of mental illness. There is a lot of mental illness today. So to me, that whole album, even though it was inspired by an actual event of a friend in their life, it goes so hand in hand with society today as a whole. There's a few songs that should be taken out of there if you want, like Money is like the greed of corporate stuff and whatever. And I guess it does fit hand in hand, because if it's making people money not to help you, then the corporations are preventing you from getting the mental help. So, the whole album in general, that's all it's about is mental
music. Yeah.
It did.
What changed the music and concept ideas about albums, what changed all that was the record producers. The record guys, they said, "Nah, you're going to play your songs, but you're going to include these 3 songs on your album. You're going to do these 3."
Well,
and that's what ruined
why?
rock music.
Why is that, Free Ride? Because this is what happened. 50s and 60s, it was all about getting 2 or 3 good songs on that album and then fluff tracks.
Right.
When the late 60s and 70s came, these people were putting out so much good music and no singles. So there was no charts. There was no singles on the charts. They were buying albums. Now, but the record company wanted you to buy the album and the single. So now they want to put hits on the record, short singles to sell to radio, because radio's not going to play your 7-minute song back then.
Right.
But now they're going to play a 3-minute song you put out, which you're going to buy that single, like it, maybe listen to the B-side, and then go buy that record. And that's what they lost when those concept albums came out. There was no money to make off the single.
Right.
Well,
there's a classic flop. There's a classic flop album, okay, by Jethro Tull. There's one album.
Yeah.
That was a concept album.
Yeah, it was a horrible concept album. The ballet one.
Yeah. The hair lost his spectacles.
Yeah, what the fuck? It was after Thick as a Brick. Passion Play.
The Passion Play. That's it. The Passion Play. But now it is a cult classic.
I still think it's a piece of shit. I still hate it.
Yeah, it's a horrible album.
Jethro Tull, to me, and I hate to say this, they get great albums. Aqualung came out. Almost every song on that album is a kick-ass killer rock song. And then it went to and then all of a sudden they were putting out this other shit that people weren't digging. Then later on he went to minstrel music, for Christ's sakes. That what happened. But if you listen to Aqualung and the albums before that, like I can't remember their names, but I love Benefit is a great album with Teacher.
Great album.
Great
Teacher. Got Teacher on it, and To Cry You a Song.
Thick as a Brick even was too fucking long.
Yeah. Well, they had 2 versions of Thick as a Brick. They had the radio version and they had the album version. And I played the album version on my show. That it's a longer song, but it's worth it. It's worth playing. I mean, it's a good tune.
12 minutes.
Yeah, it's about 12 minutes. And just the idea.
I think that killed the concept album, though. I think that album killed the concept album.
Yeah.
Because it was too out there. It was too much. It was too much.
Well,
and
record off the stage. People wanted to hear Aqualung, and he got booed off the stage.
It takes a pandemic to ruin music, and in the 80s it was AIDS, and today it's the COVID. So the music's pretty well sucking nowadays. Did you ever notice that?
Yeah, well, I still disagree with you on a lot of the 80s music. I'm not going to say that all the 80s music was good, but not all the 60s and 70s music was good either. There was a lot of stupid shit that came out in the 70s. Let's not forget,
Oh yeah, there was.
And there was a lot of weird, stupid shit that came out in the 60s. All that, all that
Yeah.
bubblegum shit and all that
Yeah.
yummy bullshit.
Yummy, I got love in my tummy and the Hermit Hermits. And
Yeah,
the
but there
70s
was some
had,
good shit back then though too, and they played them on the radio.
yeah, they played
Yeah.
them on the radio all right. Another bad album was Jefferson Starship. We built this city. I thought there was like 2 songs on that entire album that I semi liked, and I thought
Jane.
that album did. Yeah, Jane was one of them, but the other songs just sucked.
Yeah,
They
well,
just sucked.
that was actually one of
Something
the
I
biggest.
built this city. I built this city on rock and
Rock and
roll.
roll. Yeah, it was about San Francisco. And
Yeah.
that'll ruin an album right there. I mean,
That song is still played. They still make money off that song. That
yeah,
song
they're
is,
still making money on it.
I'm not saying I like it because I really don't, but
It
I
went
know
disco-ish. And what do they call in the music today? Hip hop, Bob Adop, or what,
Bob Adop.
rap or what?
I don't know.
You know, I don't know either, man. But they're experimenting. Maybe they'll come up with something in the 1930s.
No, they've ruined it. They've ruined rock and roll. There's no
Because
gray
after we
area there.
fix the pandemic, like we fixed AIDS, it'll all start coming rocking back again to good
Yeah,
shit.
They've
No,
destroyed rock and roll.
music, it's not it destroyed rock and roll. Music is never going to come back like it used to. It's too easy to get it. It's too easy to get it for free. And
Right. Right.
there's
Too.
there's no way to chart how people sales are because there is no sales. So how do you rate somebody that doesn't sell? So the whole, you can't promote them, you can't do anything because they get it for free. So the music industry is not like it used to be. You could be so rich if you had a hit album years ago for the rest of your
Right.
life.
Yeah.
If you wrote that hit Christmas song that they play every fucking year, you're set for the rest of your life. But not anymore. Nobody buys stuff.
Hey, it's getting almost Christmas time. What's your favorite Christmas song from who? The rocker.
Oh, mine is actually Cheech and Chong.
Oh,
And Santa Claus and his old lady. That's a great song.
Go for the long one.
Yeah. That's a great song.
I got 2. Mine is Billy Squier, Christmas is the time to say I love you. And I love Elton John, Step Into Christmas.
Elton John, Step Into Christmas. Another good one is Kenny Loggins, Celebrate Me Home. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good Christmas song by a rocker. I think Alice Cooper. Didn't Alice Cooper do a Christmas song?
Yeah, he did.
I could be wrong. It was Morbid Christmas.
No, he did do Santa Claus.
Santa Claus, yeah. Oh, Grandma ran over by a reindeer. That's a good song.
I like Bruce Springsteen's.
Yeah, Santa Claus is coming to town.
Well, if we're talking about ex-rocker,
I love that.
Then how about Greg Lake's Father Christmas?
Father Christmas, yeah, Emerson Lake
Or
Obama.
the Kinks? No, that's the Kinks. Father Christmas, give us some money.
Yeah, Father Christmas, give us some jack, man.
Beat you up, don't hand it over. Yeah, that.
Yeah, Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's a great tune. That one,
Christmas time.
I love the Beach Boys, Little Saint Nick.
Little Saint Nick, yeah.
That's cute. That's cute.
Yeah. And there's another one too that I used to like. It was Brenda Lee's "I'm Gonna Lasso Santa Claus."
I like John Lennon's too. So this is Christmas.
Yeah,
and it's a New Year's song too. How
about Paul McCartney's Christmas classic?
And it wasn't a remake. He did that song by himself. He even wrote that music.
So did Paul McCartney. Wrote his Christmas hit.
Yeah, his Christmas hit.
Heaven, wonderful
time. Oh, John Lennon and John Lennon did one. What was it? Oh gosh! At the end of the song, "A Happy Christmas." So, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Happy Christmas was over.
Yeah, the war is over. He was celebrating. Yeah, celebrating that the Vietnam War was finally over, and yeah.
Yeah, and he wrote that shit. That was but these other guys are just, the same old Christmas songs.
No,
But
not
yeah,
really. I
Yeah,
mean,
I like some of
"Celebrate
them
Me
too.
Home" was written by Kenny Loggins, and Santa Claus and His Old Lady. That was Cheech and Chong. They wrote
Cheech and
that.
Chong. Yeah, Cheech
Yeah,
and Chong
they
did
wrote
that.
that.
Yeah.
I like the one. What's that one where they banned it last year?
And it.
Talking about
Baby, it's cold outside.
"Baby, It's Cold Outside."
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Did Elvis do a Christmas song, or did he make one, or did he just?
I'm a blue
Elvis'
Christmas.
Christmas album is the biggest Christmas album ever. Blue Christmas, he did.
No,
Like,
no, no. Those are all reovers.
No.
That the.
Oh no, Blue Christmas
No.
was written for him. Blue Christmas. He was
He
the first
loved
person to ever
Christmas.
do Blue Christmas.
Oh, he made those songs. I see.
Yeah.
And the biggest song that he made was "Santa Bring My Baby Back to Me." Santa Bring My Baby Back to Me. I don't need a lot of presents to make my Christmas right. That one. That was
Yeah,
his,
that rocks out, man. Yeah, Elvis
we listen to a lot
Elvis.
of Italian Christmas songs because I'm Italian, and one of ours was Lou Monte's "Dominic the Donkey," which everybody is my real name. So that played for me a lot in my life. It was like, Dominic the Donkey. He's like, shut the fuck up, asshole. I'm sick of that shit. But the world don't know. Yeah. But Christmas was always my dad, who passed away, his favorite time of year. He was like this miserable fuck all year. And then around Christmas time, he was really nice and friendly and joyful. It's like, why can't you be like this all year long? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Our dad loved Christmas. My dad loved Christmas. My mom thought it was a pain in the ass. My dad loved it. He dug Christmas. He said, "That's my best time." He bought a silver Christmas tree.
Yeah.
One of those aluminum Christmas trees,
Yeah.
and and it would turn on a spindle, and it had this.
No.
It had this light that had
the light that would turn.
Colors. They had green and green and red and gold, and this thing would spin, and it would turn, and the tree would turn different colors and shit.
Yeah.
Try checking that out when you're tripping one night.
Yeah, we had that too. Yeah. And then years later, when that was broken, we got rid of that tree, but the light still worked. He got a white tree and put that light against the white tree.
It looked really cool, man. It really lit it up nice. We'd set up the Christmas tree, and then we'd put it away, and we could leave all the ornaments on and put it in a box. That was it. It was done. You had the tree down in 20 fucking minutes, man. It was over, gone, done. And my mom couldn't wait to end Christmas, man.
Yeah. My wife is the opposite. We have a tree now. This year, we got rid of our dining room table. We're putting the tree in the middle of the dining room. It spins. It's got a train that goes around it. It fucking plays music through the tree. Nice. And it's just crazy. It's insane. And I don't remember how much we paid for it, but it was a stupid ass price. It's artificial, which I don't like. I'd rather have a real tree. But
I'd rather have the real tree too.
Unless I want to fucking take that old motherfucker out now.
Well, I've got a fake one. I used to trim and cut trees and branches and trees and shit all my life, and I got sick of it. I didn't want to fucking put a branch in my house and put ornaments on it. After a while, I was pretty sick of trees by the time Christmas coming. So it's just kind of and it's a waste of money nowadays. You know how much a tree costs? Jeez.
Yeah, no,
it's $150 for a live tree. It's $150. No wonder I use an artificial tree. It's cheaper, and they don't burn. They don't burn.
Oh,
no, they're fire retardant. They don't burn.
It's a waste. It's a waste, and I think it's gonna fade away. I don't think it's gonna last much longer.
It's gonna fade away.
It's been going on for quite a while, dude.
I don't think it's gonna fade away.
They're supposedly running out of trees.
Well, that's why the price is going up.
I believe that just as much as I believe in global warming or climate change, as they call it now. Okay, it went from. Did you notice that how it went from climate change or global warming to climate change? What the fuck happened there? That's because now they can explain anything. Oh, now it's colder. Oh, now it's hot. Now it's
now we got more storms. We got more vicious storms. Stop it. Well, what about Hurricane Camille? The fucking 5 on the Richter scale fucking wiped out all of Texas and Louisiana. Hurricane, what was the one down there?
How about the big fucking earthquake in San Francisco? That fucking 1800s.
That was a wicked earthquake that made that highway collapse on top of the other highway.
Now we got that volcano going, and they're crying about that.
Well, shit, we're talking about disasters. Look at Pompeii. The fucking evidence is still there. Is that global warming too? Because that fucking volcano, just killed that whole city.
Wiped out the whole city. Well, the smoke from the ash and shit in the atmosphere caused the globe to warm. Well, the Earth has been warming and cooling and warming and cooling since its inception. If you believe in the round Earth fucking policy, it's supposed to. It's supposed to. I mean, Saudi Arabia used to be a dense forest. Where do you think all that fucking oil came from? That used to be a jungle, for Christ's sake.
There used to be tons of water in the fucking desert too at one time. They'll find whale bones in the fucking desert.
Explain all that.
Ocean and shit.
That's the way it goes.
Give me this global warming shit and shove it up your ass. This climate change shit. You know what? By the time this Earth ends, by global warming or by climate change, I will be fossil fuel.
Well, that's the whole point of it. It's not about you or me. It's about the next generation. But anybody that will not see that. I mean, even your grandkids, that won't happen in their lifetime even. I don't know if it'll ever happen in anybody's lifetime, but even if it's true, it won't happen in anybody you know's lifetime. It will be way distant.
The United States of America will dissolve before that happens.
Oh, that's going to be not too long, because right now we're on the verge.
We could talk about that too, because Knee Scab over there, he's really happy. He wants to see it. He wants to see the fall of America.
Yeah, he wants to live in a communist regime. Yeah, that's right.
He already lives under one.
Yeah. I'm not going to be around for much longer. I just want to see it happen, and it's happening now. So I'm more pleased than you think.
Yeah. There's several states that want us to see
live through it. The rest of your life is not going to be a happy life. So
I think it was. What do you think?
Do you think it will be? Well, let me ask this question, then you can answer. Okay. Do you think it will be a violent end? Do you think it'll be like a civil war kind of a thing, or will it just dissolve?
How did Rome? See, it'd be spectacular to have lived at that time when Rome fell, and it would be. Especially if it was the end of your life.
Mind the barbarians kicking your ass and chopping your head off and shit. If you don't mind that, I mean, that's what happened.
One of them. Unless I was one of them.
I could go into the details. They were killing people like it was going out of fucking style back then.
Unless I was the killer on the killer side. You could have been on the killer side. You could have been on the other side. You lived.
Well, you lived and you died by it. But do you think that this coming up, will it just dissolve and states will go on their own and make their own countries, or do you think it'll be a civil war?
It won't even be that. It'll be world domination. It's going to be the whole world, one new world fucking order is what they want. You're never going to be dissolved to be on your own and think that it's going to be free without being the USA, because somebody's going to be in control of it. There's money. It doesn't matter about life or liberty or the pursuit of happiness. It's all about money. So it's all about money. So nobody's going to dissolve the United States and live a happy life. You're going to be under a different regime. You're going to be under somebody else's control. And that doesn't mean a good thing. It doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. I'm not saying that. But you're not.
People would say that's communism.
Well, that's what we're trying. That's what's being tried to be avoided, is communism. Guido, you froze up. There you are.
I mean, communism. That's communism. That would be, a whole communist world, a whole world order that everybody is living by is what we're against. So yeah, if that were to happen, yeah, we'd have a fight. They'd have a fight on their hands, I think, from the militia and the people.
Right.
But we don't have, I don't know where my video is. Can you guys see me?
No, I can't see
No.
you, and I can't see myself either.
There we go.
There we
There
go.
you are.
But like during the American Revolution, we had the same weapons as the government did.
Right.
We don't. They're trying to take your weapons away. They're planning for this.
Yeah,
They want
but
to take your weapons
they
away.
also say it's better to die as a lion than to live your whole life like a fucking sheep.
Oh, it's also better to live than to fucking die.
Well,
Yeah.
true that. So
That's all.
you
Like
gotta
Bible.
you gotta take a few with you, whatever weapon you can get. Looks like, because you'd have
Listen,
to fight back if you wanted it to be a
You're bad.
fucking
How can you
communist country.
how can you fight back when you're only allowed to have a shotgun, maybe a handgun, and if you have a rifle, it can only hold like 7 bullets? How are you gonna fucking fight back?
You're
Well,
not.
that's what they're trying to do, but there's still plenty out there that are loaded better than that.
There's plenty out there that's loaded better than that, but that's probably about 2 to 10% of the population. It's
True
not
that.
a big
True.
percentage.
Until the shit hits the fan, and then it gets distributed, and it's the more we take, the more equipment we got. So
You know what makes me laugh though is all these things that happen with guns. Is it's never a gun that was obtained illegally or legally, okay? So, or it's a shotgun or something that they got out of their mom's closet. It's never an assault rifle or anything.
Yeah.
So why are we ban that shit? It's always something else. And even if it is assault rifle, they didn't get it legally. Okay. So by banning or restricting gun control, why? That person's still going to get it illegally, you dumb motherfuckers.
Yeah.
If I'm going to try to kill people, I'm not going to go to fucking Walmart and buy a gun. I'm going to buy one from some dude in the hood.
Yeah.
And that's what gun control bothers me. It's like criminals are still going to get guns, dumbasses. Okay, we only made it harder for the law-abiding citizens to get a weapon now to defend themselves, which is part of the Constitution.
Right.
That you have the right to bear arms. It didn't say you have the right to bear arms that only hold 7 bullets. It says you have the right to bear arms. So
yeah, because we might have to fight our way out of this paperback.
That's why we should have the same weapons, at least gun-wise, as the U.S. military can have.
See, I don't think control. See, and that's not what I'm saying about America falling apart either. I'm thinking more like America falling apart where there's nothing on the shelves to eat, and no.
That's what's coming. That's what's coming. They're already talking about it. They're already talking about shortages of food. We're going right into it.
Why would anybody want to see that? That's what I don't get. In your mind, why is that?
It's the same thing. That's the same thing that happened in Rome. See,
fuck Rome. Those people were stupid. They didn't defend themselves, like you said. They lost. So what's so good about it?
Well, I don't think we're going to be able to defend ourselves either. So, and you're confirming that.
Why would you want to see that?
Because it'd be a great, it's like being alive at Pearl Harbor.
You might only see it for 12 seconds, dude. You might not even, they might fucking kill you in 10 seconds. You see nothing. You didn't even see it. Oh, I'm dead. I didn't see a goddamn thing. I don't know what it goes on.
Because I got too much will to see it and see it finished. I got too much.
He wants to see the end of the United States of America because he thinks that our government are hypocrites. And they go against the original Constitution.
Well, I don't disagree with that, because what people fail to realize is that this country is not a democracy. It's a fucking republic. A democracy is a place that's run by governments. This place is supposed to be run by us. This is a republic, but somewhere along the line we lost that and bent over and took it up the ass and still continue to take it up the ass. And your wife just walked around by us naked, by the way.
She just walked by naked. I shit you not. Yoko walked by. Thank you, Yoko. Way to go. Naked Yoko.
Yeah. That's going to be the most paused section of our videos now. And I almost saw it again.
Oh, one more time. One more time. Up again a third time.
We are now going to have to put a triple X. There we go. We're back to this one.
We're gonna have to put a big R for R-rated on our fucking YouTube.
That's the name of our new. That's the name of this show. Yoko's Naked.
Yoko's Naked. Naked Yoko.
I'll have to watch the show now.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, you've never seen it before?
Oh, sure, every time.
It's been a while. It's been a while for him. Debbie Goodson, that's Gonzo's wife, said that they watched the movie Spartacus since we talked about it.
And,
who?
Gonzo and his wife, Debbie.
Did you?
They watched. Yeah, they did. They watched Spartacus, and I've got an answer back on whether or not you liked it or not. But let me know how much you liked it, and share that with us as well. But so back to this. This is a great conversation we're having. So I believe that it's going to dissolve. I think it's going to dissolve. I don't think it's going to be a radical. I don't think it's going to be. There are going to be the original 13 colonies, including Virginia, will be one country. The Midwest will be another country. Illinois will be their own fucking country.
That'll take years.
If this country ever did that, dude, another country would come in and swipe it all up.
Yeah.
They could take each state by state and get it all. It would be like fucking old days.
If that were to happen, it would take years to do. It wouldn't just happen overnight. The country wasn't cut up overnight. This took years to develop the states that we have, you know. And if you wanted to split them up, it would take more years to do that.
So what you're saying, Guido, is if we split up into different states, into different countries, like you had like Missouri, Arkansas, and Kansas would be one country, and then the North would have their country, and so what you're saying is we would be more vulnerable. Like if Texas was its own country, if Texas became its own independent country, then it would be more vulnerable to invasion.
Absolutely, because you got only Texas to protect you. Right now, you have 49 other states that got your back.
Right.
If you're your own country or your own entity, you're yourself, unless you align with another place. So that's a whole new ballgame, you know.
I'm just thinking to make it'll turn out like Haiti, and it will be, building our own houses on the freeways, and the shelves will be empty, and the money ain't gonna be worth a shit. And the fucking.
Oh, you're thinking it's gonna be like what's the name of those movies out of Australia?
Beyond Mad Max.
Mad Max. Yeah. So you're thinking it's gonna be like Mad Max time?
Not that drastic.
He's eating dog food out of a can.
Yeah.
He's eating dog food.
Yeah, that poor, like Haiti poor, like New Zealand poor. Like
New Zealand's not poor, trust me. New Zealand's doing just fine. They kick ass. New Zealand's tough. You're talking like Mozambique or countries like what is it, Bangladesh, and countries like that are, now I'm just,
it'll all become a Compton.
I am just
the Compton of the world.
I'm quoting a president of the United States. What our last illustrious leader called them shithole countries.
Right. It will become a shithole country, is what I'm saying. and that's the fall. And if it snaps out of it, fine. We're gonna need a good somebody in office to do this. And but it's getting overrun. It's all gonna be a giant Compton. Okay, it's already trashed all over the fucking freeways, and it's the housing has gone down. Nobody's,
Well,
can
that's why
afford it.
that's why we're pumping fucking $7 trillion into an infrastructure that we don't need to do that much.
No.
So
The
No,
roads got holes in them, but they're letting them go. And
well,
so
my idea is, well, take $1 billion, and put it all into preventing fucking fires. Clean up the forests and shit. Start growing trees again. Start doing the fucking things that you used to do, and maintain the land. That land's not there to burn. That land is there to be maintained and cared for. That's why our country was so great in the beginning, because there were laws that protected those areas that said, no, motherfucker, we're going to keep those cleaned up. And they used to have people go out. And I remember I had a chance to join a group of people who went to these forests when I was a kid, went to these forests and they cleaned up. I didn't go. I joined the service instead. But they had guys that would sign up for this shit, and they would go out and they clean these places up.
right.
And they don't do that anymore. They just let them go.
They don't do that anymore, but they talk shit about it. Like it went to be those people that were
they're letting it burn. They're
like
letting
the,
it burn,
the environmentalists back in the day. They would talk in the media and shit, but they would go do something about it. They would clean up, like you said, and do that. Now they just talk blah 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 blah, and they don't do anything.
They don't do anything. They don't clean it up. They don't take care of their fucking things. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. I'm sorry. That's what I'm saying about wanting to see that happen to this country, because they deserve it. They did it to themselves. They're assholes. All of them that are in charge, they're assholes.
Well, they are, but that's your fault, my fault, Free Ride's fault. That's everybody in America's fault that put these fucking
not mine,
stupid in there. Yeah, it is, because if you don't vote, you're just as much as the problem is voting for an asshole.
They took the vote away from you, Guido. They took the vote away
from you now, but I'm talking about in the history of your life, you voted. Okay.
Since I voted one time and then I got busted and couldn't vote again.
Yeah, well. Ever. Well, that sucks for you. That's unfortunate.
Let me ask, who did you vote for?
Nixon. I was out at sea.
No.
You voted for Nixon.
You voted for a criminal.
Everybody was voting for Nixon.
You voted
so you voted with everybody. You voted with everybody else. Nixon should have never won re-election.
But Nixon should never.
We didn't want to end the war. We were loving it. We were having a good time.
Yeah. Nixon lost a couple times for a reason, just like Joe Biden lost a couple times for a reason, because people didn't think they were good for the president. Why were they good a couple years later? That doesn't make sense to me, And Nixon was just,
Well, Nixon won.
He got beat by Johnson. No. Nixon got beat by Johnson back in the day.
No.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Johnson took over Nixon when he resigned.
No, he didn't. Johnson took over Kennedy when Kennedy got killed.
No. You're thinking.
I'm not talking about.
No, the guy who took over after
Ford
was Ford, who took over after Nixon resigned.
Gerald Ford.
That's right.
Nixon was the vice president of Dwight David Eisenhower.
Right.
He was Eisenhower's vice president, and he ran against Kennedy and lost.
And then he ran against Johnson and
lost. And then he shut up for a while. And then when Bobby and Martin Luther King got killed, he came back into the limelight again and said, look, we need a change. We need to make a change. And that was his platform to make change happen.
That's what I don't get. We didn't want him 2 times, but he skipped a few years, came back, and we voted for him twice.
Johnson?
Yeah, no, Nixon. We voted for Nixon. Johnson only served 1 term, but
one full term. Yeah.
He was only voted in once. But with Nixon, we said no to him 3 times, 2 or 3 times. Yeah, 3 times. We said no to him. 3 fucking times.
he was running against Goldwater, and I didn't want to vote with Goldwater because of his name.
Because of his name.
He was rich. He was rich. Goldwater was
I don't
rich.
know Goldwater either, but that's not the reason why. He was.
I was 18. I was 18.
He was today's Democrat then.
Yeah.
You know,
he was like
he was racist as fuck.
he was like Wallace. He was on the right side of Wallace. He was to the right of Wallace. Wallace was a fucking he got assassinated. When Wallace got assassinated,
figured that he would keep us in the war and we'd be stay there in the Westpac and have fun, stay and have fun. But yeah.
Okay,
that's why.
So you voted on keeping you the war. Yeah.
Keeping you high.
Keep the war pumping. Keep my taxes going for a good cause. Yeah.
Kill them commie bastards.
Yeah. But yeah, us invading countries like that.
It's funny how Vietnam turned out. After all of these years, we're friends with them now. Yeah. Because they're China's #1 enemy in that area.
We stuck our nose,
They will go to war with them.
Yeah, and we stuck our nose in a lot of people's, like Korea too. We didn't have a lot of business over there, and we didn't even win because it was a truce. Nobody lost and nobody won.
Nobody lost. It was an armistice. It was a a treaty. It was a treaty. Is all it was a ceasefire.
They could go to fucking war at any time. They're still in war. They're still at war, technically.
Well, the Vietnamese came down. The communists came down, and they didn't fucking burn the villages and kill all the people either. They said, okay, now everybody go to school, learn what this is all about. We're done. And then they went over to Cambodia and wiped out the Khmer Rouge. Right. So the Vietnamese, the North Vietnamese, how can I put it? They weren't as evil as we thought they were going to be. Right. They weren't really. When they took over South Vietnam and changed the name to Ho Chi Minh City.
What's to say that the Taliban ain't going to do the same thing over there?
Well, they're not. We're not. We know their history.
Yeah,
but they're not. They're already executing people. They're doing it all. They're cutting arms off and legs and shit. Fucking sick.
I think a lot of that's propaganda bullshit too. I don't believe all that's true. And it's like even in war, the art of propaganda is played. Like the Allies used inflatable tanks to make the fucking Germans flying over think that we had more firepower than we did, but they were big inflatable balloons that looked like tanks. So when you flew over them, it looked like there was 10,000 tanks, but there was only 1,000 tanks, and so that the art of propaganda plays a big part in war, so I don't know how much of it's true. None of us will know, in any war, anything. We don't know the real numbers, let's face it, because you know why? History is written by the victors.
Yeah.
The loser doesn't get to tell the story. The winner does. The winner decides what part of history is going to be spoken about, and that's a shame. It's a shame because we should know the history of everything, even the loser's side. What was their opinion on it? What was their views on it? What happened? You know what I mean? But we don't get that. We get just the facts that you get are from the winning side. And that's how it goes anywhere. In any society, in any part of history, nobody tells the 100% truth.
But do you honestly believe that the Taliban is going to be like the communist regime in Vietnam?
I don't know.
It could turn out okay. Who's to say? They could finish up, cleaning up their bad, and then get down to business and get things rolling. But
my whole thing with the whole thing is we fucked up. We probably should have never been there in the first place, but we were there for 20 plus years and then we just leave. See you fucking later. What? Yeah. Really? It's like we didn't pull out little by little. No, we just brought the whole fucking thing home.
And another question I have is, if the Taliban was so easy to get along with, like they're telling us, Why wouldn't they say, yeah, you guys can have a base here. We're going to let you fly sorties and fight off these guys, and we want to keep a base here. Well, we kept a base in South Korea. We kept the bases in Japan. All of our conquered lands, we've got bases in. So why couldn't we have negotiated with them and said, look, we're going to keep a base here, okay, and we're going to go out after ISIS, and we're going to go out after fucking what's it called, Al Qaeda, and they probably would have said, okay,
No,
if they were so fucking agreeable.
That's the problem. They won't say that. They can't. They're not going to allow you in the country. It's their country. They're going. Then you'll be in charge of us. No, you're going to be the police of us. No,
well,
get the fuck out of here, man.
If
Pack
you
your
trace,
shit and hit the
I
trail.
agree. I agree. I'm with you.
If you trace back the Taliban itself, we fucking are the ones that created the Taliban because we supplied them the weapons to fight against Russia.
Yep.
When so we
created the Taliban. We did.
Yeah.
We did. And we
Well,
also
now
created
the
the Northern
Taliban's getting-
Alliance. We also created Al Qaeda. We
Mhm.
created. They hated us so bad. We created them out of a seed of hate. It came.
Well, if you really do some research and drop down some deep rabbit holes, you'll find evidence that fucking Saddam Hussein, or not Saddam Hussein, the other one, Barack Obama. What the hell's the one twin tower?
There's a terrorist for you.
Yeah,
Bin Laden.
Bin Laden is a CIA, works for the government, or works for the government. Yeah.
Yeah, he knew he was giving us information a long time ago, and we betrayed him because he said, "No, let us take Iraq out."
Yeah.
And we don't want you here.
Hey, did you notice that about every president got somebody, either it was Gaddafi or Bin Laden, or it was Hussein? You know, each president got to kill one of them, and then Trump killed that Umbada Dada guy in the car. I can't pronounce his name. You know,
Soleimani.
And then Joe Biden kills these sheep herders.
Yeah. The thing it is too with Soleimani there, they gave him flack over that, but there's evidence that he's one of the biggest fucking murderers of all time. Where
things have gotten awfully quiet since he's dead.
Right. Because he was the culprit of a lot of things. He had no fucking moral compass. He was he was like a mafia hitman. That was his job, was to kill people.
Ooh.
And he was good at it.
Soleimani. He directed all these guys out there in fucking Iraq. Say, okay, this is your target. This is who you're gonna kill. Yeah.
He was a high.
He died like a dog. He said. Trump said he died like a dog.
Yeah. Him and his driver did. They didn't know what hit him. It was one of those exploding fucking arrows that when they hit something, it explodes into billions of shards of like glass. It's like
I want one of those, man.
Man, I tell you, they clean out, and there's no explosion.
That's like, could you imagine if you were a superhero and that was your superpower? You had just fucking arrows that would just blow shit up. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool.
Hey, maybe we ought to get a hold of what's the name of that network that does all that stuff? The producers that do all that stuff.
I don't even know now, but I know what you're talking about.
Marvel books, Marvel.
Oh yeah,
get a hold of Marvel.
Arrow.
Yeah, you got to fucking call the guy Cupid. You'd be a superhero with fucking arrows that.
Draw back your bow. I'm gonna kill you, motherfucker. You know?
I'm gonna kill you, motherfucker.
That would be a good show. I would watch that. I would. I'd also watch the show about the superhero with the 12-pound nutsack, and he just beats people with his nutsack. You know.
Right.
Wow, that's great shit, man.
I think I've seen that before.
He walks around in one of those mankinis, and he whips it out whenever there's trouble around. He whips
Super
it
cock.
out. That wasn't intentional, but that worked. You know,
yeah.
He's super nuts.
I think that was for real. I think that was not.
Yeah. And
Cheech Marin did that. The E.T.
Yeah, E.T. Extra testicle.
Yeah.
Extra testicle.
I've
never seen that.
But the worst time to get the Mr. Nut to come after you is when he's working out at the gym, because then you get a salty extra smack.
Well, then that would be Tommy Chong. He always had that bulge. He put in his fucking workout suit.
He had to. He was half Chinese. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, he wasn't.
Yes, he was. He
Itchy,
was half
scratchy. No, he wasn't. Was
I'll
he?
fucking go look it up. He was. Why's his last name Chong? Think about it. He's Chinese and Canadian.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. All
He
right. Hey,
is.
sometimes you learn something new every day on there, every Sunday night on Freaking After Dark. Yeah.
My daughter's name is Don Chong. Come on. That's not.
Tommy Chong is half Chinese.
Yeah.
Of
He's
course.
awfully tall. He's awfully tall. He's like 6 foot.
He's also English or whatever. I don't know what his Canadian. He's from Canada. I don't know what his. He's obviously white too. I don't know what his
He's
white
either
side.
French or English.
Yeah. I don't know, but he's definitely Chinese. I don't know what percentage he is, but his father is Chinese. Yeah.
It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny about Canada. They're a mix between British and French and Norwegian heritages. And for centuries, the French and the English killed each other. They were always at war.
Well, it depended on what country conquered that part of Canada at what time. It's the French had all French Canada, Quebec, all that stuff, and that's why you go to Quebec. The main language is French. It's not English. You have to know French to
get by. To get by. Sure.
And then over closer to me was English, so it's all. Definitely people that speak just like me, almost. They say a lot and other things, but it's pretty much. I can go over to Niagara Falls, Canada, and you wouldn't know I was from. You know what I mean? It's the same. But you go in farther Canada, it's like you're in a whole another world.
Yeah, well, you are basically.
You got to speak that French in Quebec and Montreal.
Right.
It's but it's fun. I went through there. Through there, and I hopped a train and went across New Brunswick and all the way to Nova Scotia.
That's fun.
And I got off there and hitchhiked all the way down Nova Scotia, and wow, it was so much fun. I was like 16.
I love how you got to go through Canada to actually get to one of our states. That just makes me laugh all the time. That Alaska's actually connected to fucking Canada.
Yeah, well, so is Upper Michigan, Upper PA.
Yeah,
Upper PA is.
So we're actually all of America's connected. All of America's connected to Canada.
Hawaii's way out there, and it's America.
Hawaii's way out there. No, so same as Puerto Rico, all that. But it's just funny that Canada is connected to Alaska, but Russia owned Alaska. Canada never owned Alaska.
Well, how far down does Alaska go down there in the Bering Sea to touch our land, the mainland?
It doesn't touch our land at all, I don't think.
It doesn't touch our land at all. You got to go through Canadian.
Or go on a plane.
Yeah, you go from Juneau, Alaska, south. If you go south on the highway there, you'll go through Canada and into the United States.
Yeah, it doesn't touch our country at all. It completely touches Canada, and a part of it, I believe, touches Russia across the,
Yeah, the Aleutians, the other end of the Aleutian Islands. Yeah.
Or very close to Russia. It either connects or it's super close to it.
Well, hey, listen, Sarah Palin could see Russia from.
Yeah.
That's flat Earth. Motherfucker, that's a flat fucking Earth, man.
Yeah. She also had
it's like 800 miles, 1,000 miles.
Right. You know what though? Sarah Palin with her little accent and her little glasses and her little mom ponytail.
I'd have gone to prison for sexual harassment. They could have ended my fucking social life on her. I'd be in a basket of deplorables if I fucked her. Definitely, without a doubt.
Yeah, I would do her.
I would, yeah, definitely.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, and how else too is even though she's stupid and she's evil, is that governor of Michigan? She's pretty hot.
She's pretty hot too. Those guys were trying to kidnap her ass.
Oh yeah.
The governor of South Dakota. She's super hot.
Oh, Naomi or whatever the fuck her name is. Moam, something like that. Yeah. She's fucking hot.
New York's new governor is a woman, and she's got like fucking horse teeth or something when she talks. Yeah, and I don't like her anyways because she mandated the vaccine for my wife, who was against it, and because she's a nurse. Which, yeah, I didn't realize we lived in old world Russia, but I guess we do now.
I think that vaccine they're
Well,
trying to
that's
get
what
away.
I'm
They're
talking
trying to get
about
away
there,
with
Steve.
something that's gonna fucking.
I, I was talking about that. I was saying, it's like they took away my rights to vote for these assholes that are getting in there and fucking things up so bad. I really, really, really would like to see this place fucked on account of them.
I understand your point of view because of your situation, okay, but you kind of did something, whatever, to lose your right. I'm not saying you should have, okay, but you had a choice and you did that thing and lost your right. People now are losing their right to have a choice over this vaccine for no reason. They didn't do
Well,
nothing.
the thing is, it's not that I did something wrong, because I didn't. It's the fact that they silenced me,
Right.
okay, a long time ago, and I don't forgive them for that. And I didn't break the law, so.
Well, your situation's unfortunate. I'm not going to disagree with that. You got screwed. You did.
You
But
did.
what I'm saying is, if you absolutely did what they said you did, then you had a choice and lost your rights. Where these nurses and doctors did
They
nothing
don't have
wrong,
a choice.
and they don't have a choice in this state
Right.
and your state as well.
California's the same.
To
Yeah.
keep your job in healthcare, you have to get this vaccine. And to me, that is a horrible fucking communist thing to do.
Well, they have to. This is all a part of the scheme. This is all a part of the scheme. That's why this fucking virus was invented, so that certain few could take control of the masses. And that's what's going on right now. I know we never talk about fucking politics, man, but
But it
this
was
is
also
what's
the
been on my fucking
fat
mind.
people's pockets, dude, too. Because if you look, Dr. Anthony Fauci owns stock in Pfizer and all this other shit that he promotes. You shouldn't own stock in companies that you promote as the health official. And there's a lot of bullshit here. There's a lot of companies making a lot of money off of this. Oh, it's free. It ain't free to the government. They're paying for all this.
Right.
The Pfizer's not doing it out of the kindness of their heart. They're being paid big money. And
Big money.
Bill Gates is the main proponent to all these vaccines. Look into the Bill Gates connection. Bill Gates stepped down from the board of Microsoft to promote his time to genetics and vaccinations. Check it out. All his money, his fucking hundreds of billions of dollars he's putting into genetics and vaccination, and he believes that the world is too populated and that the numbers should come down. Get this, 90%.
Yeah, it leaves the top 10.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
we're due for we're overdue for a catastrophic change in this world. We got way too many fucking people. Way too many people.
We got so much land and we got so much resources that we protect and whatever, bullshit wise. I'm not talking about like forests and shit, but there's places that they won't let you build on, or there's resources. We just need to stop all the bullshit in this country, in this world, and start doing like we used to and getting everybody's country back to normal. Why should China have all the money and all the production plants? Let the United States have their own. Let England have their own. Let India have their own.
The guy in the White House ended that a long time ago with Bill Clinton and NAFTA.
No, I know.
When they did NAFTA, I said it out loud. This is going to fuck the American people. I was the first one to say it. NAFTA is going to fuck them. And look what happened. 80% of the manufacturers took their shit outside the country. And now now we can't get the fucking shipments in to get them off. But, go try and buy a fucking refrigerator or a fucking stove.
But in the beginning, in the beginning, it worked. The NAFTA thing created stores. Okay. Now a lot of stores popped up, dollar stores, this, that, because of that agreement. But then when the internet marketplace came, it killed all those local homegrown businesses that NAFTA helped. And boom, now it's all China.
Now it's the 350 store.
Yeah, yeah, right. But really, that there was a lot of those stores coming up because people could afford to buy the merchandise and resell it. So in a way, it started to help the American economy, but it didn't because now our
The
factory.
350 tree, the 350 tree, they call it. Not the Dollar Tree anymore. It's the 350 tree.
Well, we still got a dollar store here. I go to it all the time for stupid
They're
shit.
gonna change it to the 350 tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the dollar store is different. The dollar store ain't nothing there a dollar anymore.
It's
Okay,
gonna be the
it's just the
350
idea to
store.
save it, but it's the everything's a dollar. Everything's a
They
fucking
got a
dollar.
lot of shit that's a dollar. They got a lot of shit that carnival stuff,
My,
stuff
my
that's
dollar tree,
usable.
my Dollar Trees, everything's a buck here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's some of it's usable. You get a glasses, reading glasses, and
Well,
Right.
what the
glue.
good thing about it is, like, I was going to stay at a bed and
But you
breakfast
can't
not
get a
too long.
quart of oil out of there for $1.
Right.
You're gonna pay 350 or you're gonna pay
It's
$6.
bad habit. Like I got fucking um fuel injector cleaner from there once or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. You get all that shit there now. All right, gentlemen. Well, we've beaten this one to death. And,
I
and
hope you enjoyed.
we just, we've done it again. We went overtime. We went overtime. So
Well,
it's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
right now it's over.
It's over. We're getting ready to close it out. But I just want to let everybody know you can
Good
catch us
night.
every Sunday night. And you can catch us right here on the station at rocks, kgfrocks.com. Anytime, just go to the webpage and click play. You can listen to it, or you can catch us on YouTube. And then the new one is, go ahead, Guido, tell them where the new space is.
Well, the new places are either odyssey.com or d.tube,
D.tube or
which
Odyssey.
is the better place to go watch it because d.tube is a blockchain place. And once the fucking thing's on there, they can't get rid of it. So it'll be there forever.
All right. Well, that's cool beans until they change their policy. But
Right.
anyways, we're gonna let you all go. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and if you're watching us later on, thank you. We appreciate you. Okay, adios, gentlemen. Thank you.
I'm going to rewind
Yeah.
to the nude scene.